News Corp's Europe correspondent, joins us from London. Good to talk to you again, as ever, Sophie. This strikes me as something quite different to a mere football celebration.
Yeah, great to be with you, Chris. Look, I was actually in Paris on the weekend watching the match. It was an incredible match where Saint-Germain were victors, and was on the Champs-Élysées when this was unfolding. And Chris, it quickly turned from a celebration where everyone was really excited and, you know, celebrating such a momentous occasion for the French side. And then it quickly erupted into pretty much chaos. And those videos show how serious it was. There were flares going off. Many people in the crowd were sprayed with tear gas, and it was a pretty frightening situation to be in, from something that was merely a celebration. But then you get these hooligans, unfortunately, Chris, to destroy it for everyone. And as we know, hundreds were arrested, hundreds injured, and 2 dead. So pretty disappointing result that something so momentous turned into chaos like this.
Yeah, it's just horrible. So I want to show our viewers one snippet of what went on there, and given you were on the scene, get your reflections again, Sophie. Here's just one incident that was captured on social media. Just terrifying. A couple of young women trying to drive home in their car, and it's set upon like that. Now, Sophie, there's a lot of stuff on social media. I wasn't there. I don't want to know, but people are suggesting there's an issue here with migrants. There could be even some the Israeli-Palestinian tensions could have played out here. Was there any sign from you that there was anything at play here other than just celebrating ridiculously, violently, a soccer victory?
Well, Chris, where I was, it was celebrations, and it just felt like everyone around was having a really good time. But then suddenly there were flares let off, there was chaos, there were fireworks, and it quickly turned into a situation that many of us there felt quite unsafe. Many of us wouldn't have gone if we thought it was going to be unsafe. So we can draw our own conclusions on what we think was behind it, but I would say there were many hooligans in that crowd who ruined it for others.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you're safe, Sophie. It's just a shocking situation. We'll hear more about that in coming days, no doubt. I want to get back to the UK, where you are now, back in London, and the immigration debate is heating up again, with revelations that 15,000 people have crossed the English Channel already this year. This new government, like the previous government, doesn't seem to be capable of stemming the flow.
Well, it was very interesting on the weekend, Chris, because the UK's Defence Secretary, John Healey, came out and said that Britain has actually lost control of its borders. But like all governments who are new in office, they've been in office a year, they're blaming the previous government for this problem. But the numbers continue to climb and they can't stop it. They're blaming the French, saying the French aren't doing enough to turn these boats around. But this is a giant mess in the UK, and one that is continuing to dog the government, and it seems that Keir Starmer cannot get control of this, and this is going to continue to be a massive issue, and one that Reform UK's Nigel Farage is very strong on. He said any illegal migrants that come into this country, they'll be tossed out.
Yeah, let me give the British government a bit of advice from our experience, and that is, don't expect anybody else to control your borders, much less Britain expecting France to control its borders. Britain has to control its borders itself, not try and rely on anybody else. Just briefly, Sophie, they're talking about a warm summer, a hot summer they would call it. The forecasters are suggesting you're headed for a warm summer there in the UK. Hopefully it is beautiful for you all, but is there any hint of climate alarmism around all this?
Well, Chris, the Met Office have come out and said that it's going to be a hotter summer than normal. But look, I'd say if we had a bit warmer over here, I'd welcome that, because it's been pretty chilly. It was a very cold winter. But these are only predictions, Chris. So we need to just wait and see what the results show at the end of summer. But it was one of the sunniest springs on record. And they're also saying it's one of the driest seasons in recent times. So a combination of things going on here, Chris. But let's see the results before we jump to conclusions.
Well, the Met Office, the Met offices around the world have trouble enough predicting the temperature for tomorrow, let alone the whole of the season, let alone for the next 50 years. But I have seen some of the headlines in Britain about the sunny spring, and it's the first time I've ever seen a sunny spring day reported as bad news.
Well, that's right, Chris. But look, it's summer here now. We're just into summer. It's a beautiful day today. It's probably 20, 22 degrees today. Bring it on. I'd like to see a bit more sunshine in here because that's been a big change for me. Coming over here with the dark days, those winter months can be pretty grueling.
I bet. Thanks for joining us, Sophie. I really appreciate it, as ever.